What's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. Into the Houston Astros lose to the Milwaukee Brewers 4-3. Tough loss to the Astros as they continue to really struggle on the road, man. I mean, look, I think it's really funny to see all the road struggles, early in the year when you've seen this team the last couple of years been identified as a team that really struggles on the road really does really good on the road and then struggles really bad at home. This year, it's been a complete opposite. And, to start off the year, it looked like, to start off the year for the Astros I think the first, 9 games of the season, it looked like that same thing was continuing for this Astros team this year, where they play really poorly at home and then play really good on the road, because the Astros' first 6 games of the season, they go 2-4 at home, look really bad at home against the Giants and the Mets, offensively too as well, and then start off 2-1 on the road. But ever since then, both have completely switched. I mean, yes, they start off 2-1, on the season on the road. Since then, they are 4-10 on the road, and since their 2-4 start at home, the Astros now are 11-7 when playing at home, and you minus their 2-4 start, they are 9-3 since that 2-4 start at home. 9-3 in the last 12 home games. So this Astros team, for some reason, is good when playing at home again. So I can't wait for the Astros to get back to Daikin Park. Really wanted to say Minute Maid Park there. But let's just say, can't wait for the Astros to get back to Houston this weekend playing Cincinnati. I don't know how that series goes, but the Astros will be at home more in the upcoming couple series, and that's something that I think is better for this Astros team. They've shown that in the first 35 games of the season, but it's tough to see this Astros team lose again. This is now 3 losses in a row for this Astros team. They are now under 500 for the first time since the end of the San Diego series. That was like 3 weeks ago. That was like 3 weeks ago. I believe it was 3 weeks ago when that happened. And that was the 21st game of the season. Now we're 35 games in. It was 10-11 was the last time the Astros were under 500. And we're playing really good basketball. Playing really good baseball. I've been talking so much basketball recently. After that series. So, and then recently the struggles have really gotten worse for this Houston Astros team. Not only the first 2 starts of this series, the first 2 games of this series, losing 5-1 yesterday and 3-4 today, but also the end of the Chicago series, losing 2 or 3 of in those games, and then losing the end of the Detroit series, the end of that series, that last game. Yes, they won the first 2 of that series and had won 3 in a row before the end of that series, but since then, this team has really started to struggle a little bit, to the point where now they are, I believe it is 1-5 in the last 6 games. They were 16-13 and now 17-18, and I think a big part of that is the road struggles this team has had this year. Only one of those games I mentioned of being 1-5 is at home. So before I get into the stats of this game, I want to be completely honest before going over this, the stats of this game. I've not watched the Astros a lot over the last week. I've barely watched them, to be honest. The Detroit series, barely watched the Detroit series because last Monday, I believe the Rockets were playing last Monday when the Rockets had their game 5 of that Warriors series. No, it was our game 4 of that Warriors series, and I watched it with my grandparents because I don't know, I just really enjoyed watching the Rockets with my grandfather, and they have YouTube TV, so I can't watch the Astros at their place, and so I didn't watch Monday's game. Then I went to Denver and didn't was in Denver for the last two games of the Detroit series and the first two games of the Chicago series. So actually wasn't even able to watch the Astros while being in Denver. And then I did watch Sunday's game, the entire game. I did watch the entire game on Sunday because I got back into Houston Saturday night, watched Sunday's game, was really excited to watch McCullers return. And I actually, despite the loss, I really enjoyed watching that game, seeing Lance coming back. And I haven't really I did not watch yesterday's game. I'm glad I didn't. Again, was at my grandparents'. And then tonight it was on in the other room, but I was watching the NBA playoffs. The funny thing is I really only watched two at-bats. I watched in the seventh inning, I caught the best moment of the game. Rodgers hit a seventh inning 3-run shot, his first of the year. And then before that, Victor Caratini had an at-bat, and he grounded out. He struck out looking, and I saw that, and then I saw right after that Rodgers home run. That was really the only thing I watched of this game. It was on. The game was on in the other room the entire time. I just really didn't pay attention to it. When I see them down as early as they were in this game, it gets a little frustrating to watch. But 43 is the final score for the Astros in this game. 6 hits for the Brewers, 5 hits for the Astros, 0 errors in the ballgame. Win goes to Chad Patrick. He's 2-3 on the year now. 6 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. He had a tough end of his outing with his 3-run shot that he gave up to Rodgers. Loss goes to Hayden Wesneski. He hit one of his worst outings of the year. It's definitely the shortest he's gone in outing this year. 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 and 3. I don't know what the Astros expect giving him this much time off. He hasn't pitched since April 26th. It's been that long. It has been, I think it was 11 days that was in between starts for Wesneski. So the Astros gave him too much time off, and I think he was a little bit rusty coming out and definitely showed that, giving up 4 runs in the first inning. His next 3 innings didn't give up any runs. I think he definitely showed early on that he was really rusty, and he looked a lot better as the game went on in those next 3 innings. So I think that was a bad. I mean, I don't know, giving him a little bit of time off, maybe not bad, but 11 days was way too much time to give Hayden Wesneski off. And if once he is going to come back, he's going to be rusty. And things did get better for him as the outing went on in the next 3 innings, from innings 2, 3, and 4. Save goes to Miguel. He's his 4th save of the year now. He had a strikeout in that 9th inning. Scoring summary, we saw a Hoskins double to center. Contreras and Turang scored, made it 2-0 in the first inning, and then a first inning home run for Bowers, 416 feet, absolutely killed it. Hoskins scored, it's 4-0. And then 7th inning, Rodgers hit his first home run as a Houston Astro, a home run to right, 369 feet. Diaz and Myers score, and it's 4-3. He was one of 3 Astros that have played on the team this year that had not hit a home run. The other 2 are Chas McCormick and Mauricio Dubon, but you've seen a lot of those Astros that had not hit home runs recently. We go all the way back to if we go all the way back to the end of the Detroit series. Victor Caratini hit his first home run of the year in the last game of the Detroit series. In the Chicago series, Jake Myers hit his first home run of the year. And then later in that Chicago series, Zach DeZenzo hit his first home run of his season. And then tonight you saw Rodgers hit a home run, his first of the year. So in the last week, you've seen 4 Astros on this team that have not hit home runs this season, hit their first home runs. And now there's only 11 of the 13 players that have hit for the Houston Astros this year have hit home runs. The only guys that haven't are Mauricio Dubon and Jas McCormick. And honestly, those are probably the 2 guys that have had the least amount of at-bats this year for the Houston Astros, I would say. I know Chas has definitely had one of the least amount of at-bats for this Astros team this year. Dubon might be with him too. Let's go over the Astros individual hitters today. Jeremy Pena. Also want to add with Rodgers, with the 3-run home run, he is in double-digit RBIs now. Pena went 0 for 3, sacrifice bunt in the 3rd inning. Altuve went 0 for 3 with a walk in the 8th inning. Isaac Paredes 0 for 2. Did have 2 walks, though, in the 1st and 8th. Dubon was a pinch runner in the 8th after his walk. The Astros did have a chance in that 8th inning, though, with 2 runners on. Couldn't capitalize. with 2 back-to-back walks. Christian Walker in that 8th inning single. They had the bases loaded. And then that's where we saw Yainer Diaz ground out. And that really ruined things for this Astros team in that 8th inning. But, Christian Walker had a 8th inning single to left, Paredes to second, Altuve to third. And, that got things going for this Astros team. And so Christian Walker had a hit today, went 1 for 4. That was his last at bat, was a hit. Yainer Diaz went 1 for 4, a single to left in the 7th inning, scored a run. That was it for Yainer Diaz at DH today. Jake Myers went 1 for 4, single to left in the 7th inning, scored a run. Victor Caratini went 0 for 3, was hit by pitch in the 2nd inning. Outside of that, went 0 for 3. Brendan Rodgers went 1 for 4 with his 3-run home run in the 7th. Can Smith went 1 for 3 with a double to right. Outside of Brendan Rodgers, that was the Astros' only double. That was the Astros' only extra base hit. It was Can Smith's double and Brendan Rodgers' home run, and that was it. Hayden Wazinski, like I mentioned, pitched 4 innings. Outside of that, Stephen Okert pitched 2 innings. I think you knew there would be a bounce back for Stephen Okert. Had his worst outing of the year, pitching an inning the other day against the White Sox, gave up 2 earned runs. The weather conditions, you could tell, were taking a toll on Okert, and he had 3 strikeouts in 2 innings today, giving up 1 walk, no hits, no earned runs. You knew Okert would have a bounce back. He's pitched that well for this Astros team this year. Taylor Scott would come in. They bring him out in the 7th inning. He gives up a hit and a walk in that inning. In 14 pitches. They decided to take him out. They bring in Brian King for the last 2 outs of that 7th inning. He does well, gets a strikeout, gets the last 2 outs in 10 pitches, gets 7 strikes. Brian King does what he's done all year. Then Brian Abreu does what he's done all year, is pitch really well outside of that one game in Seattle. And he gets 11 strikes and 16 pitches, striking out the side in the 8th inning. We do not see Josh Hader because the Astros there was no need to pitch in the 9th since they lost this game, and that is it. Astros lose 4-3 and lose their 3rd in a row. I think you couldn't feel things. Framber Valdez has struggled this year, but I would feel better about him being on the mound tomorrow. It's not often that Framber Valdez has back-to-back bad starts. You do not see that often with him. So he's struggled this year, but it's not been often that he has back-to-back bad starts. So, and Framber Valdez is really due for a win. He's 1-4 this year and hasn't got a win since opening day. So Framber Valdez is due for a win. Let me know your thoughts on this Astros game in the comment section, and peace out. Go Stros.